Web Spiders. Today's Monday. It's November 30th. I'm so glad to be back in the web. I had a fabulous Thanksgiving week, really, last week, because I was at a conference Monday and Tuesday, so I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to go there. And then I got to spend lots of times with friends and family over the long weekend. You guys have a long weekend? Yeah. And probably my best part where all of my kids were home. So with two of my kids kind of being adults, one that's out of college and married and one who's still in college, I don't get to see them as often. So I got to have all three of my kiddos and my daughter-in-law home. So we had a lot of fun. Got to see all my sisters, got to spend time with my husband. It was just a great weekend. Look what I came back to. Can you see these bucket filler cards? I cannot tell you how excited I am to read these. Look at all of them. This is incredible. Mila Grider, you are a bucket filler. This is from Mrs. Miller for helping me out and showing me where things are in the room. Way to go, Mila. And to Tatum Miller from Mrs. Bartram, you are always ready to learn and you give your best. Way to go, Tatum. And to Adam Ott from Mrs. Walters, you fill my bucket every day because you always do it right. You work hard and stay focused all the time. Keep it up. Way to go, Adam. Aubrey Losey from Mrs. Walters, you fill my bucket every day by being helpful. I appreciate you. That is awesome, Aubrey. Alex Cantrell from Mrs. Walters, I appreciate your willingness to help. It is so great to have someone in class who jumps in to help. See, you lighten Mrs. Walters' load every day, Alex. To Xander Honeycutt from Mrs. Walters. Well, Mrs. Walters' bucket must have been pretty full to write all these. You fill my bucket each day with your caring and helpful attitude. You work hard every day, too, and she appreciates that. To Logan Helpin from Brian Griffin. You help me with stuff. You want to share a beanbag with me sometimes in Mrs. Walsh's room. So, Logan Hellman, thanks for being a bucket filler. To Rebecca Gardner from Mrs. Bartram. I am so proud of your hard work over the last couple of weeks. To take ownership of your reading. Way to go, Miss Becca. And to Cammie Marshall from Mrs. Bartram, thank you for your eagerness to learn each day. You ask questions and you grow minds. Way to go, Cammie. To Brock Elmore from Mrs. Bartram, thank you for your positive attitude and kindness to all. Way to go, Brock Elmore. And to Lily Hamilton from Mrs. Bartram, thank you for your positive attitude, hard work, and kindness each and every day. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That is awesome. Thank you to you bucket fillers. Now I want to backtrack. Since I didn't have my birthday list with me when I was doing the announcements last week, I want to make sure that everyone that had a birthday while I was gone got to celebrate or come down for a birthday backpack charm. So I'm going to start way back on last Saturday before I was gone, just to make sure we didn't miss anyone. So on the 21st of November, we had Michaela Hines in Mrs. Presnell's room, Mrs. Miller's room. On the 22nd, we had Anara Castro Morales in Mrs. Miller's room. We had Xander McKay from Mrs. Kinsey's room. We also had Hunter Richardson on the 22nd in Mrs. Kinsey's room. On the 23rd, we had Landon Thomas in Mrs. Pate's room. On the 23rd, we also had Nathan Ward in Mrs. David's room. On the 24th, we had Madison Arnold in Miss Machino's room. On the 24th, we had Caden Blackwell in Mrs. Pate's room. And I think I told you guys last week that shared a birthday with my mom, so that was pretty cool. On the 25th, Lakeisha King in Mrs. Schott's room. And I think we call her Quinn, if I'm not sure. Brooklyn Burdine in Mrs. Taylor's room was on the 28th. And then Elena Eldridge from Mrs. Taylor's room was also on the 28th. So happy birthday to all those November birthdays in case I missed you. You want to see something exciting? I cannot wait to show you. We have our Gifts of Kindness bulletin board, and that is kind of a precursor for what our character trait for the month of December is. Our month of December character trait is kindness, to be nice to each other. So we have Gifts of Kindness, and we're going to count down each and every day until our Christmas break. We're going to start with number 15. So let's see. Can you see what that says?
Share something.
Share something. So our very first gift of kindness, let's see if I can hold this up, is to share. I don't know if you guys can see that. share something. So what could you share today with someone else that would be a gift of kindness? What do you think, Lily?
I think you could share a pencil with someone.
Ooh, someone might need a pencil. What else? What else could we share today?
You could share scissors.
You could share scissors. Glue stick, maybe? Yeah. Anything else we could share today here at school? I don't know. Think about it. When you have an opportunity that someone in your class needs something and you have that thing, share it with them. That's pretty easy. That would be an act of kindness, wouldn't it? And I think I'm going to put that right back there, and I'll put a push pin in it in a little while so you can see that on day, and why do you think that says 15? Does anyone have any idea why that says 15? We have 15 school days until we go for Christmas or winter break. So we're going to count down 15 all the way to the very last day before we go on winter break for Christmas, okay? All right, let's come back over here. And at this time, if you guys would stand and push your chairs in, we will have a moment of silence. Make sure you guys can see yourself on the camera, okay? All right. And now we're going to do the pledge. You guys ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice job. Now, before we end today with our creed, we have another really exciting thing that happened last week in the web. So you guys want to come with me? So, on occasion, when we try to travel with the computer doing announcements, we chance